Our political analyst, Brian Sobel. Thank you so much, Brian, for the time. Always good to see you. Obviously, this speech here from King Charles III comes at a moment when we see a strained relationship between the U.S. and Britain. What did this speech accomplish? Do you think this helped to kind of ease the tensions between these two nations?
Absolutely. I think we have, as King Charles pointed out, a very long history with Britain. And it's interesting to note that King Charles has met 10 U.S. presidents, starting from the time he was 10 years old meeting Dwight Eisenhower through today. And his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, met 13. Why is this important? It's important because we have a very long-standing relationship with England, with Great Britain, and we sometimes go through rough patches, and I think that that's what King Charles was referring to today, but we'll come out of it. We are, as he said, like-minded in so many ways, and I think the Congress gave him a very hearty, nice welcome. He's an excellent speechmaker, by the way, and so I think it was a good day for the King, for his country, and for the United States.
Brian, I want to touch on a couple of things, because during his address, Charles really appeared to kind of indirectly counter President Trump's frequent criticism of the NATO alliance. Do you think that indirect criticism, if you will, is something that President Trump heard and will respond to?
Well, they've already had King Charles presented that. Certainly, President Trump would have known essentially what the King was going to say today. The United States has issues with NATO. I think one of the things that King Charles has to deal with is the split in his government. He's the monarch. He's the leader of the country in terms of their history, their royal history, versus the political side of England and what they want to do and what they do internationally as well. So I think the importance of this visit, Heather, is that King Charles ends up being a broker between the political side of things in his country and Donald Trump, and where we stand, at least relative to NATO and how NATO has performed or not performed during this situation with Iran.
How much of making this a meaningful and impactful visit for King Charles is him really putting aside his personal feelings so that you get temperature between President Trump and the British Prime Minister?
Well, he's the perfect person, Alex. He and Trump have a long relationship, known each other for many years. From everything I hear, they have a good relationship, and I think he came to the United States for this visit in an attempt, partially, I mean, it was planned for a while, but partially to say, hey, let's not go in different directions here. And you don't know what was said behind closed doors. Right. It could have been, hey, we could have done more. You could have done less, whatever it is. But I think at the end of the day, the relationship between these two people and between our two countries is solid. And any two countries, allies as we are going to go through periods of time where we just don't see eye to eye on things, and we have to get beyond that.
Yeah, but there obviously is a lot of focus on Charles's words, choice of words, and things that he also left out, right? He did not reference Iran today, but in his remarks, he called for really the need for broad international cooperation. Again, a little bit of, a distinction between his position and President Trump's in regards to Iran.
Yeah, if you're a speechwriter and you read that and listen to that speech, you see that it's very artfully crafted. He left things out on purpose. He put things in because he meant to say them. There's inference in there, and there's direct commentary. Again, going back to what I said earlier, it's well known in the world that King Charles gives a good speech, and he's obviously got good people writing his speeches, and he also knows people can read between the lines. So sometimes you don't have to say everything. It's there for you to discern because of sometimes what is not said. And that's why I think the speech today was artful.
Yeah, I mean, walking a fine line
Yeah.
in terms of his public
Yes.
comments in the speech, but
Yeah.
you have to wonder whether the king was a little bit more direct behind closed doors with the president.
Well, that cuts both ways. I mean,
Yeah, true.
his mother and King Charles have a long relationship with American presidents and with Donald Trump. And so you can expect that there was a lot more said, pro and con, behind the scenes than they are going to talk about publicly. But the talk that Donald Trump gave this morning, he didn't veer off script very much. I think it was a good welcome to the United States.
All right, Brian Sobel, as
Appreciate it,
always,
Brian.
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Have a great evening, guys.
You
All
too.
right, you too. Former FBI Director James Comey